Hey guys, it's David here with BeckerArt, and today I want to talk to you about my trip last week to the Dunn Museum. Last week in Libertyville, it's kind of near Libertyville, and the Dunn Museum, just look it up on Google, Dunn Museum in Illinois. And I went there to see it for the first time. I saw a Bob Ross original painting. I've always seen his works, and I've actually watched Bill Alexander way before I was watching Bob Ross. And I just wanted to see, and I thought, it's right there, right when I go to my class in Libertyville. And so I went to go see the exhibit, and I didn't have any big, high hopes about it. I just thought, I thought his work, and I thought, yeah, it's okay. It's going to be it's going to be a fine. But I was really surprised how much I was very impressed. I was very impressed with his work. And so this right here is the Dunn Museum. So look that up if you want to go see this exhibit. It's up until I think December. And so if you want to go look at it, then it's actually until January 20th. And but it was actually a very, very neat experience. And I really started making me think that, wow, this guy, he brought so many people. He's almost kind of like what I am doing. It's like I really thought, boy, he is the first one who did paint parties because he did these things. I remember in the malls when they used to have the Bob Ross like classes, kind of like a paint party. And I used to do this paint party for 10 years at the studio in McHenry. And I was thinking, man, I'm following this guy's, I'm following his lead basically into doing what I'm doing. And when I was looking at his paintings, his originals, and I just want to show you really quickly that, let me just get this out of here. Let me just show you, here's the exhibit actually. And this is the actual exhibit. And besides the frames, I thought the paintings, like if they had better frames on them, these would have been some really pretty incredible things. Some of these that you see are, just really nice. I didn't like those round ones, like this one right there. That one I didn't kind of like those kind of things. And some of them were a little bit not, he's only doing them in half an hour, like 26 minutes. These you do these, and so boy, to do that painting that quickly. And I know I used to watch like Bill Alexander do this, and it was like seeing his work really actually when I watched Bill Alexander's work when I was young really got me involved in trying to be an artist because I really watched it with great intensity. And so seeing this work, the original, because again, I thought I've seen stuff when I was in the malls way back then when I really liked, but I don't think that was his original work. This is his original work. And the colors and the brushwork was I was very impressed. I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, wow, he knew how to compose. He knew how to light to dark. He did the background soft and he made the foregrounds intense and dark. Just what I teach in watercolor. It's just so amazing. And so, really, this week in my newsletter, I'm going to talk a little bit more about him. Well, actually, show all about him and just give him all the information that you can go see and look at his work. I mean, you can watch every one of his things on YouTube. Every one of his painting things right now you can watch on YouTube, just like you can watch on mine. So I was like, man, this guy's doing. I'm doing exactly what he had done way back then, and so then also. So that was the last one in the exhibit, but there was hundreds of paintings. It was very, very interesting. And so let me get this off of here, and let me just show you that. Oh, not me. I don't want to get me off of there. And so let me just take this off for a second, and let me just show you a couple of his works. And this is actually first I want to tell you about. So then I got really involved in watching. Everybody told me about this Bob Ross. Watch this Bob Ross biography. And so last Friday I think it was, or actually Saturday night, I was. Oh no, was it? It doesn't matter. I watched two documentaries. This one right here I watched second, but first I watched the first one, and everybody told me it was like a sad ending. And so I watched the first one, which was I watched it on Prime, and I watched that one, which I paid $3 to watch. But that was just a regular documentary of him, and then I learned all about him and his son and everything about that. But then I thought to myself, well, that wasn't that was not a bad ending. So I thought there must have been a different movie to watch, a different documentary. So then I went and looked it up on Google, and I found this one, the Bob Ross Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed. And so I thought, well, that must be the one. So I watched that. Actually, it's on Netflix. You can watch it if you have Netflix. Watch it and type in Bob Ross, and they have it on there. So I watched that one right after the first one, and then I started learning all about the Kowalskis that took over a lot of his stuff from the thing. But oh, I shouldn't have ruined it ending for you. Well, it's like it's just very interesting to see, how he was and how great I think he did for people who want to get into art. It's just amazing, getting people to do like the paint parties. And when I did these paint parties, I used to do that all the time, getting 50, 60 people every weekend to get people painting. And, it's neat to see people being happy about painting. And that's what the guy did, and that's how come I wasn't so. I was thinking that I was not going to be so impressed with his work, because it's like paint party things. It's only half an hour he did on these paintings, and I was thinking to myself, boy, can you imagine if he had spent some more time on them? And then I realized, and I found out that he does three paintings. Each one of those paintings was done three times. Once in the beginning, just like I do for my Thursday night paintings. I do one in the afternoon and then one at night at my thing. And then sometimes I actually even do make it better after I get done, which is really funny because I'm like, man, I'm just following what Bob Ross does. And so watch this episode, watch on Netflix and watch this thing. It's very interesting. It's a very, very cool thing. And again, if you can get to the exhibit or ever see if it comes to your town, maybe go and see it. I was, like I said, I'm very impressed. I was very impressed with his work. And I was so impressed that this week, that's what we're doing for my paint along, is we're going to take up Bob Ross and do it in watercolor, because the composition, the lights and darks, and the high contrast, it's all there. It's all there. He never talked about it in that like I do about, he just wanted you to do some neat paintings. And so I take it, I think I take my lessons a little bit farther than he has done, but he had making everybody happy and just to paint, just like what I did with the paint parties when I was doing those. And I think here's two of his works. Let's see. So let me get rid of this guy right here. Hold on one second. So this is one of them I saw, and just it's good. It's not bad at all. He got the background, and he was really good at the mountains, the Alps type of mountains with snow and stuff, and his water and his grasses. A lot of times I remember watching Bill Alexander and even Bob Ross, and sometimes they would put something in, and I'd say, "Stop already! Why did you put that building in there? Why did you do this? Or why did you do that?" But when you look at the originals, it's very impressive that he made those trees as fast as he did, and he had different techniques in making happy little trees and happy little clouds, and it was fun to watch. And that, it's just amazing when you see how he did that and so quickly. Like I said, 25 minutes, and I take an hour to do my watercolors, and so that's pretty impressive that he can do that in that sort of time. Here's the one we're going to be doing on Thursday. This is the one we're going to be painting on Thursday for my paint along. And there's some really nice stuff in here. I like the reflections. I like the softness and the clouds. And, so wet in the wet. We're going to have to wet on dry. We're going to not use masking fluid. We're going to go in there, maybe get some texture and some soft edges. And then I'm not sure about this building in the bottom, but we're gonna put it in. Like this is not the best perspective on that building. It's not the best, but so I'm gonna straighten out the building a little bit for myself. If you don't want to put the building in, you don't have to. Like anything. Or if you want to put the trees on the opposite side, on the right, on the left. Right, left, on the left side, on the right side. I mean, if you want to put it on that side, then if you want to put some trees in there, hey, that's up to you. But very, very interesting. So just something I wanted to bring across to you because it really shocked me and how much I was impressed. Because really, to get people that happy about painting, it just to me is like that's the best thing. As a teacher, that's what I love to do is to get people painting and make it easy on them. And boy, that's what he does, and that's what he did. Now the company that now still runs it, I'm not sure if it's the same company that ran it when he was up there with the whatever. You'll see it in the movie, but because I know he uses certain paints, his paints and his everything, and so that's all. It was all about the money, basically. But the fact that he's been passed away since 1995, which is really weird because they tried to hide it, and I don't remember ever hearing that he had passed away, which is really funny because I always wondered, did he pass away? Because his stuff is still on the market and all his paints are still there, and there's all these people still doing this type of teaching this kind of lessons and stuff. And even his son, Steve, is still teaching these lessons and stuff, which I think is great. And I think I kind of have a feeling that that's why paint parties came into existence because of Bob Ross. I truly believe that because that's what he had done, like in his classes, and everybody's painting the same thing, just like we do in paint parties, right? And I remember when I first started the paint parties, I think I was the first one in all of McHenry and Lake County because there was only one in Chicago. When I remember this place called Bottles and Bottega, and it was like the same thing where everybody painted the same thing, and I took it to more of a level of like a class instead of what they had done at Bottles and Bottega, and so I opened up. And we it was small first, but then every Friday and Saturday we'd have like 50 and 60 people doing these paint parties in acrylic. We didn't do them in oils, and he did this in oils. But I still think that maybe the Bottles and Bottega people and those people who started the paint parties had seen what these things were that Bob Ross had started, these classes, and how he, did it in a certain way. It just, to me, that I think he's a creator of those paint parties. I give him all the credit. And, his paintings, again, are just pretty amazing for what they were, and so get a chance if you get a chance, and if you ever get a chance to see his original work, take a look. I feel like I don't care how big good an artist you are, this guy did some good for the art community and having other people and look at that they can do art, and stuff. It's pretty cool. All right, so that's just what I wanted to bring across to you this week because I really was impressed by the Dunn Museum and the thing. I'm so thankful that they actually had that because I don't think I would have gone to a Ross museum or seen it if it was like expensive in some place or some big museum or something. But yeah, now I would because it was really. I'll probably go back again just to kind of. I went back through with a couple of students with actually one student of mine, a new person that follows me on YouTube here, and so we went through it, and we had lunch afterwards, and we just talked about them because it was very impressive. All right, so I'll see you on Thursday if you want to follow me along, and this is the painting we're doing, guys. This is the one right there. So uh, if you get a chance, come on by on Thursday at 6:30 Central Standard Time on YouTube, here on YouTube. Come by and hopefully paint this one. All right. So until next Thursday, we'll see you then. Bye bye.